Who's scruffy looking?
What is up, my fellow nerds and gangsters? Welcome back to the Spiffy Nerd Herder channel. I am Danny, and today we are going to talk about a little bit of screenplay structure and 3 huge tips that I have learned the hard way.
And we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
First off, screenplay structure is unlike anything in literature. It's very clearly organized so that basically you can look at a page and find your lines in 2 seconds.
You ask me to get a pair of underwear, I'm back in 2 seconds.
Second reason is that one screen page is about 1 minute of screen time. So a 10-page script, 10-minute movie. You get the picture.
That don't make no sense.
This screenplay structure, if you're writing a script, is not optional. Each script starts with a scene heading, which introduces the basics of a scene, whether it's an interior, an exterior, what the location is, what time of day it is, for instance, day, evening, night, sunset. Then there is the action, the dialogue, slug lines, and a bunch of other things that may come into play. Luckily, you don't have to figure out how to do all this in Microsoft Word.
We simply can't do it.
There are plenty of free screenwriting softwares readily available on the internet that do all of this for you.
We need your money!
I'm honestly not going to go into too much detail about this formatting of a screenplay because there are like a trillion videos and articles about this already on the internet, so I don't feel the need to. But I'll talk about 3 aspects to my theories of how to write a good script. The 3 tips I want to share today are simple. Write action rather than dialogue, write for the reader, and write only what you have to. Now let's giddy up. For the first one I say, write action rather than dialogue. This is basically show rather than tell. If a character is angry, a person in real life rarely says, "I'm so angry," unless he's like the Hulk.
I'm always angry.
But no, what do? They'll throw something. They'll walk away from the person they're talking to. They'll stare down the person. Anything and everything to convey anger rather than saying that they're angry. A great exercise is actually to write your story first with no dialogue whatsoever, figuring out how to convey all the emotions that your characters are feeling through their actions. This also means that your characters cannot have inner monologues inside their heads like they do in novels.
Can I really think Nick would hurt me?
If you want the audience to know what your character is thinking, you have to show it.
Do not let him speak.
That could be through their actions or even through the camera work, which the director will big time be up on that one.
You're not the director of me.
Check out my video about my first student film, which is all about writing a story with no dialogue. The second tip is write for the reader.
Just read it, okay? Read it.
AKA, your script straight up got to be entertaining for the person who's reading it. Your script doesn't have cameras, your script doesn't have lighting, your script doesn't have music to convey what you mean to your reader. If it's not an entertaining read for the person reading it, they're probably not going to get past page 10. That's actually kind of a general rule for Hollywood readers. If your script isn't good or if they're bored by page 10, they've generally made up their minds already if it's a good script or bad script.
His approval would be a dubious proposition at best.
Sometimes, let you in on a little secret, they won't even keep reading. Other things you can do to write for the reader is avoid talking about camera. It takes the reader out of the story, and it's kind of the director's job.
I'm not the director of anybody.
And avoid saying things like, and this is something I used to do a lot, she begins to run, or he starts to cook. It's she runs, he cooks, end of story. Why? Because every letter counts. Now let's talk about tip 3.
Well, prepare to have your mind blown.
Write only what you have to. No verbose or overly descriptive action. Have you ever read a Shane Black script? If not, do it.
Do it.
He uses few pronouns, few adjectives, few adverbs, yet it's never confusing. It's a staccato style that reads super fast, and so therefore it is entertaining to who? The reader.
Can you read?
I really like the style that he writes in, and so I've kind of taken it and incorporated it and made a few adjustments. I mean, I'm really staccato when I write, and so I want to share something with you that I wrote. Exterior Polynesian Island Jungle, 1836 AD, day. That is your scene introduction heading. Rarotonga's mountains jet into the blue sky. Majestic waterfalls in Polynesian sunlight blanket the island, when suddenly, a masked man bursts through the jungle sprinting for his life. Wooden mask and shark skin armor cover his identity. He rapidly careens to a 15-foot drop with no sign of stopping. He leaps down, rolls into a continuous run. Behind him, 4 Rarotongan warriors pursue with ease. They hurl deadly sharpened shells. The man deflects some with armor, others stick into surrounding trees. Rata, 18, that's the age of the character. Just simply put their age in parentheses after their first introduction. Notice also that I capitalized Rata and Masked Man. Every time that you introduce a character for the first time, particularly main characters, you capitalize their names in all caps. And then you give a short description of who they are, which, let's take a look. Rata, 18, leads them, a Polynesian warrior covered in battle tattoos. A flat carved board hangs on his back. The others, a Kolo, 19, fast and lanky, Pua, 17, chubby and superstitious, replies only in his native Maori. And Kai, 22, a musclehead. Enter a clearing. That's kind of what's known as a slug line, where it's not a new scene description, but it is a new point in the action. It's in all caps. It just tells you what's going on. Notice I'm not saying they run into a clearing or they begin to enter into a clearing. It's just enter a clearing. Like, you wouldn't say, there is a house. You just say, a house. Enter a clearing. The man beelines to a cliff above the river. The warriors share a look of panic. Rata yells in Maori. The four split up to outflank him. They hurl spears which hail down around the man. He dodges one. Another! Rata appears in front of him. The man grabs the falling spear and pole vaults himself over Rata, off the cliff, into the river below. Into the river below is italicized to emphasize a change in the scene. The pursuers break, see the man standing in a canoe, surfing the rapids away from them. Rata searches for a way down, sees a path, yanks the cardboard off his back, straps it to his feet, turns to the three, see you down there. He flies down the hill on the first ever dirt board, working the mountain like a double black diamond. The others expertly scale down the cliff. The masked man screams down the rapids. Rata closes in fast. The man jumps to shore, sprints to a foreboding jungle when Rata launches over the river and tackles him. The man kicks Rata off. Ouch! Then disappears into the jungle. The other three arrive, help Rata up. Giant stone-carved warriors warn of danger within the trees. This place is sacred. Chubby Pua collapses for breath, mutters a Maori prayer. We fight him on the other side. Hurry! Rata darts away on his dirt board along the tree line. Kai yanks Pua up and they follow. Whether or not you think it sounds cool or not, it's a very staccato style. Now, this is what I enjoy. You may think that's, well, Danny, that's way too staccato for me. I want to fill it out a little bit. That's cool. Just the biggest thing is, remember, you are writing for your reader. You only say what you need to, write how you are entertained, and ask people their opinions. We're constantly learning as writers, we're constantly developing, especially young writers like us. So good luck with your scripts, guys. Make something straight up awesome. And until then, stay spiffy, and don't do anything I wouldn't do twice.